Yeah, so I assume that the proportion will be something like 500, 600, so the level of 1,000 this year. And our last thing is to be done like global, or if the company decides to make bigger Christmas so I don't know if it is a Christmas, but it's probably great. But if it's okay with you, I will over the phone because it's really expensive.
Some extra hours.
Oh, this really stand for something. This body.
We first start with the logistic announcement. Christoph may welcome you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here. I'm quite happy that at this early morning time we have such an audience already. Just to start with some logistic announcement. So I suppose we also have guests here for the other working groups related to health, climate and food. So I would like to break out later, and we agree that we stay all in the Hilton Hotel. So the ones, I hope everybody knows where he wants to go. Otherwise, please raise your hand if you don't know whom to follow later. Raw material session will happen here. And to start with, we would like to take a joint picture on this part here. So if I could ask all of you to come here for a picture, and then you break out, and then go into individual sessions. We will meet again at 1 o'clock for lunch. Andrea, where? Here? In the Olive Tree restaurant downstairs. 1 o'clock, restaurant, and then we finish this event. Thank you very much. Okay, once again, these people following health will follow Judith. Judith is this lady in the middle here. Julia, for Climate Kick, is at the door already. And then we have Adam for food. Adam is here in the middle again. Please follow your leaders. Thank you. Raw material session, I will ask Christoph to take over, please.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to welcome the scientific board of the Fakultät of Technical University of Kosice. It's a pleasure to have so many people from the university here, but also other stakeholders. And yesterday we have had a number of presentations from all the different KICs. Also from the EIT at the beginning, and then we heard some presentations and some talks from the local stakeholders. What we would like to do today is we would like to go into more detail on how we can further work with our Slovakian partners. And by Slovakian partners, I don't mean just the Technical University of Kosice or just the Slovak Technical University in Bratislava, but also other stakeholders that might be interested in our activities. And I will explain that further as once the other speakers will briefly introduce their point of view and their concepts. But for us, the outcome of today or those 2 days would really be how do we move forward? What are the next steps that we should do? And please keep in mind that we already are establishing this EIT Raw Materials Hub here in Kosice. And Tomasz Pawlik is here in the front row, and he's kind of the the go-to person if you want to find out more about the activities of EIT Raw Materials and the things that we will do. We are planning some activities, some specific activities for EIT Raw Materials Hub in Kosice for the Slovakian stakeholders this year, and I will talk later about this in a little bit more detail. But really, if I go away from this meeting knowing at least a little bit more how we can help you, what kind of people should we meet here, or what kind of activities, including the meetings, but also including the projects we might start to execute. That would be that's what success looks like to us, and I would really encourage you to be quite open and tell us what things you might want to see from us, or what things you might propose. And again, if we then at the end of the day come away with this kind of information, then that will be very good for us. So I will encourage you to do that, and then I will hand over to the next speakers to present their opening remarks. So I think next up is Mr. Ivan Pestar, Horizon 2020 expert from Slovakia.
Dobré ráno, vážené dámy, vážení páni. Ospravedlňujem sa, ale budem hovoriť po slovensky, aby sa naše tlmočníčky trošku precvičili na ráno. Bol som veľmi milo prekvapený, keď ma organizátori tejto konferencie podviadali a zároveň mi stanovili tému môjho príspevku, ktorým je štrukturálne fondy, ciele a aktivity. Ja som si tam dovolil ešte pridať jeden riadok. Horizont 2020 sme instrument, na ktorý by som chcel upriamiť vašu pozornosť. Bude v závere môjho príspevku. S tým, že štrukturálne fondy sú všeobecne známa vec, ale ja sa rád vraciam niekedy pri diskuziách k princípom. Prečo vlastne sú, na čo sú, kto ich vymyslel a aké majú ciele. Ako všetci viete, štrukturálne fondy, o ktorých bude teraz reč, sú vlastne tri. Európsky fond regionálneho rozvoja, Európsky sociálny fond a kohezný fond. To je všeobecne známa vec, avšak keď si spomenieme, prečo tie štrukturálne fondy vlastne boli, prečo ich Európska komisia založila a prečo vlastne sme ich prijali my do našej praxe, tak ich hlavný cieľ bol znižovanie regionálnych rozdielov. Ako kritérium sa kedysi dávno stanovilo pravidlo, že chudobné regióny budú tie, ktorých priemerné HDP na obyvateľa je menej ako 75% priemeru Európskej únie. Samozrejme vždycky v aktuálnom čase. A tak sa stalo, že Európska komisia povedala, stanovila si 3 ciele, rozdelila regióny medzi tzv. Chudobné, bohaté a tie, ktoré sú medzi. S tým, že Slovensko, keď sme vstupovali, keď sme prijali filozofiu štrukturálnych fondov po našom vstupe do únie, tak okrem Bratislavy, myslím Bratislavy ako hlavného mesta, Všetky ostatné regióny splňali tzv. Cieľ 1, to znamená, ich úroveň hrubého domáceho produktu bola nižšia ako 75%. Bratislava už v tom čase plnila tzv. Cieľ 2, to znamená, mala vyšší priemer HDP ako 75%. Bohužiaľ, po 20 rokoch fungovania štrukturálnych fondov na Slovensku sa musí konštatovať, že tieto nenaplnili na Slovensku svoj základný cieľ a neznižili medziregionálne rozdiely, pretože podľa posledných štatistík Bratislava mesto, respektíve Bratislava ako hlavné mesto, sa vyšvihla medzi 8 najbohatších regiónov v Európskej únii a priemer HDP dosahuje vysoko nad 130% priemeru Európskej únie, kdežto ostatné regióny, ich pohyb smerom hore bol zaznamenaný len okolo 1%. A stále nedosahujú 75% priemeru HDP. Môžeme sa na to pozrieť samozrejme aj z druhej strany, že približovanie znižovanie medziregionálnych rozdielov je aj vec z pohľadu zhora, to znamená z mimo územia Slovenskej republiky. Áno, v tomto smere Bratislavský kraj je úspešný a ostatné všetky regióny na Slovensku sú menej úspešné. Je možné len polemizovať alebo diskutovať na tému, prečo je tomu tak. Bohužiaľ, počas tých 20 rokov, respektíve od roku 1991, odkedy máme eurofondy, sme vytvorili taký administratívny moloch, ktorý možno nazvať dinosaurom. Jednoducho čerpať dneska štrukturálne fondy na Slovensku je nesmierne ťažká prekážková dráha, či budeme diskutovať o verejnom obstarávaní, či budeme diskutovať o podávaní žiadosti o nenávratný finančný príspevok, či budeme hovoriť o dokazovaní finančných, personálnych, technických a nejakých kapacít. A samozrejme potom implementácia, čo je tiež osobitná kapitola, dokazovanie platieb a tzv. Financovanie nie je priebežné, ale nechcem povedať, že ex post, alebo proste musíte mať vlastné prostriedky na to, aby ste vôbec projekt mohli refundácia, to znamená, musíte mať vlastné prostriedky, musíte si požičať a tak ďalej. Všetci vieme, o čom je reč. Samozrejme, keď sa na to pozrieme úplne z iného pohľadu, tak vlastne nám vyjde to, že eurofondy sú pre bohatých a nie pre chudobných. To je môj osobný názor. A vytráca sa pri praxi čerpania štrukturálnych fondov ich pôvodný zmysel. A rád by som na neho upozornil znova, to je znižovanie medziregionálnych rozdielov. Znižovanie medziregionálnych rozdielov nemožno len deklarovať, ale je nutné pre neho aj vytvoriť podmienky. Podmienky tým, že štátna administratíva, myslím tým všetky vlády, lebo to nesúvisí vysoko nejakým momentálnym politickým nastavením na Slovensku, ale všetky vlády od 93. roku, odkedy vzniklo samostatné Slovensko, mám taký pocit, že robili len viac a viac prekážok k tomu, aby čerpaniu eurofondov mohlo dôjsť. Čerpaniu takému, ktoré by znižovalo medziregionálne rozdiely. To stále je v tom podtone. Samozrejme, sú veci, ktoré sa v rámci čerpania eurofondov podarili. Hlavne akademická pôda v posledných rokoch veľmi masívne čerpala eurofondy, ale ani tento fakt máme nádherné inovačné parky pod rôznym názvom, aj každá univerzita je technikom, Medipark a tak ďalej. Máme vytvorenú bázu, ale aj napriek tomu sa nám nepodarilo zastaviť odliv mozgov z tohto územia. A paradoxne, Bratislavský kraj je jediný kraj, kde narastá počet obyvateľov a počet obyvateľov sústavne klesá v zaostalých regiónoch. Bohužiaľ musím to povedať, hoci vy ste tu významné kapacity, ktoré pracujú jednak na rozvoji kraja a jednak pracujete s mladými ľuďmi. Bohužiaľ musím konštatovať, že tento kraj je zaostalý v zmysle štatistiky, respektíve v zmysle pravidiel Európskej únie. Stále sme chudobný kraj, ale chudobný región, ktorý nedosahuje priemerné HDP na 75% na obyvateľa. Čo sa stalo? Technika zlyhala? Nevadí, budem pokračovať ďalej. Týmto by som chcel len upriamiť pozornosť na vás. Vy ste v podstate kapitáni alebo stakeholdery tohto kraja alebo tohto regiónu. Vy máte možnosti vplývať na národné autority, ktoré sú podľa mňa hlavnou brzdou alebo hlavným kormidelníkom toho prerozdeľovania eurofondov. Tam na záver tejto časti prednášky mám taký, som si dovolil stiahnuť z internetu taký veľmi pekný obrázok, ktorý vystihuje našu situáciu, kde si neslobodno zamieňať rovnosť a medzi spravodlivosťou. Môžete mi prekliknúť na ten obrázok? Nevadí, aspoň vám popíšem ten obrázok. Musíte zapojiť vašu fantáziu alebo predstavivosť. Je to karikatúra, kde za plotom stoja panáčikovia a snažia sa spoza plotu pozerať na bejsbolové stretnutie. A jeden je vysoký, jeden je stredný a tretí je malý. Tam je tá, to je ona. Super. Táto karikatúra, by som povedal, vystihuje veľmi našu situáciu. Samozrejme, každý si môžete domysleť, kto sme my a kto je kto. Mám taký pocit, že v prípade rovnakých podmienok pre čerpanie, ale myslím ani nie čerpanie technické, ale tú administratívnu záťaž, jednoducho nedá sa zvládnuť za normálnych podmienok čerpanie eurofondov, keď ste takýto maličký spoza plota a dajú vám takúto škatulku, na ktorú sa máte postaviť. Jednoducho rozdiel medzi rovnosťou a spravodlivosťou musí byť. Princípom je pomoc a solidarita, to znamená solidarita bohatých regiónov ku chudobným. Toto je, by som povedal, môj odkaz smerom ku vám, pretože všetci ste významní a vplyvní ľudia. Skúste sa zamysleť nad tým, ako toto naplniť, alebo teda previesť do praxe. Moja druhá časť prednášky, alebo toho príhovoru, je o inštrumente Horizont 2020 pre malých a stredných podnikateľov. Zároveň som v takej schizofrenickej pozícii, jednak, že sám sa pokúšam, respektíve pracujem na rôznych projektoch, ktoré chcem čerpať z eurofondov, respektíve zo štrukturálnych fondov pre mojich klientov. Zároveň som však národný delegát pre Horizont 2020, pre budúce a vznikajúce technológie a zároveň som aj hodnotiteľ pre SME instrument pre malých a stredných podnikateľov. Chcel by som upriamiť vašu pozornosť na to, jedná sa síce o malé peniaze, ale tento inštrument je vytvorený výhradne pre malých stredných podnikateľov, ktorí nemusia spĺňať také administratívne náročné pravidlá, ako sú v štruktúrálnych fondoch. A tento inštrument je zriadený pre úroveň inovácie 6 až 9. Určite viete, že Európska komisia má rozdelenú úroveň inovácií, teda nie ich úroveň z hľadiska vedeckého, ale z hľadiska vstupu do praxe na 9 stupňová škála, pričom zjednodušene povedané 1 až 3 je základný výskum, to znamená skúmavka, mikroskop, výpočty. 4 až 6 je úroveň, ktorá končí prototypom, to znamená nejaký aplikovaný výskum. A 6, respektíve 7 až 9 je nasadenie inovácie do praxe. Tento SME instrument je práve vytvorený na to, aby od tej fázy prototypu do nasadenia do praxe mohli mali a strední podnikatelia za pomoci výskumných organizácií, ktorých zástupcami ste aj vy, alebo teda sú medzi vami, mohli čerpať peniaze. Tento inštrument je rozdelený do tzv. 3 fáz. V rámci prvej fázy môžete dostať 50 000 grant. To je v podstate grant na feasibility study. V druhej fáze môžete dostať grant až 2,5 milióna eur na vývoj prototypu, respektíve na zavedenie tej inovácie do praxe. A tretia fáza je, do ktorej idete automaticky, keď skončíte fázu 2. Táto fáza je nájdenie finančných partnerov a prefinancovanie vašej inovácie priamo v praxi. Tieto prvé dve fázy sú granty, tretia fáza je návratná finančná pomoc, buď prostredníctvom rizikového kapitálu alebo venture fondov. Bohužiaľ, preto som chcel upriamiť vašu pozornosť na tento program. Bohužiaľ, posledný call, ktorý bol 9. novembra, kde ja som hodnotil asi nejakých 12 projektov, ani jeden bohužiaľ sa mi nedostal do Slovenska, tak došlo 2596 projektových návrhov a z toho len 26 bolo zo Slovenska. To znamená promile. Ostatné krajiny mali rozdelenie tých žiadostí, by som povedal, naprieč celou úniou veľmi rovnomerne. ale najväčší počet predložili Taliani, Španieli, Francúzi, Briti. Slováci sú, by som povedal, na úplnom chvoste. Nerad porovnávam Slovensko s nejakými inými krajinami, ale to musím použiť. V čerpaní tohto inštrumentu v rámci Horizontu sme horší ako Rumunsko. Napríklad. Myslím, že horšia je len Malta. Čo sa týka, samozrejme treba vnímať aj počet obyvateľov a kapacitu a tak ďalej. A keď si všimnete oblasti, tak oblasti sú relatívne zaujímavé. Aj IKT pre zdravie, poľnohospodárstvo, nanotechnológie. Samozrejme, je táto schéma otvorená aj pre raw materiál. To znamená, že ak máte nejaké nápady, máte nejaké inovácie, ktoré viete použiť do podnikovej praxe, toto je veľmi dobrý a rýchly inštrument pre financovanie takýchto projektov s tým, že žiadosť má 10 strán, podáva sa elektronicky, nie je potrebné okrem elektronickej registrácie žiadne iné ďalšie administratívne úkony. Grant sa poskytuje ako preddavok, to znamená peniaze vám prídu na účet, s tým, že ho musíte samozrejme vyúčtovať, by som povedal, podľa štandardu. Takže toto je z mojej strany všetko, čo som vám chcel dnes povedať. Ďakujem za pozornosť.
Vážená vedecká rada, vážení kolegovia z EIT Conference Kosice, dovolte, aby som sa podelil s nejakými myšlienkami s vami. V podstate, keď sa pozeráme na svet, a je to také myslenie si, že budeme znižovať energetickú náročnosť, budeme znižovať materiálnu náročnosť a za chvíľku budeme v takom stave, že budeme potrebovať nula materiálu a nula energie, tak to sú ľudia buď neinformovaní, naivní alebo neriečení. Ja by som teda chcel predniesť nejaké myšlienky, ktoré sa týkajú možno vstupnej analýzy, ktorá bola spracovaná z hľadiska surovinovej politiky štátu, a táto bola konfrontovaná jednak s ministerstvom hospodárstva, z MŽP, s hlavným pánskym úradom, s Národnou technologickou platformou pre výskum, vývoj, inovácie v oblasti surovín a tak ďalej a s odbornou praxou. Význam nerastných surovín je nesmierny a v budúcnosti bude k mimoriadnemu narastu významu týchto surovín sa nebude meniť. Báza nerastných surovín poskytuje v rámci určitého regiónu hodnotu, ktorú je možné pri optimálnom využití zhodnotiť, a to komplexne, čím je myslený profit pre spomínaného vlastníka, teda štát, ťažobnú spoločnosť a samotný región. Profitom pre štát je možné rozumieť regionálne využitie ložiska, tak aj to, ako je definované v legislatíve riadiacej proces využívania nerastného bohatstva štátu. Profitom pre ťažobnú spoločnosť je možné rozumieť tvorbu zisku a zabezpečenie jeho udržateľnosti. Profitom pre región v zmysle postavenia samosprávy je tvorba blaha pre občanov regiónu, ktorú je možné vnímať cez podporu tvorby nových pracovných miest, podporu tvorby regionálnych daní, respektíve daní smerujúcich priamo do regiónov a dostupnosťou zdrojov aj surovinových, ktoré sú potrebné pre jeho rozvoj. Vlastníkom výhradných ložíc nerastných surovín v podmienkach Slovenskej republiky je štát, ktorému však nevyplýva jednoznačná povinnosť všetky evidované ložiská výhradných nerastov ekonomicky hodnotiť. Odvetvie ťažby a spracovanie nerastných surovín v Slovenskej republike je v celom rozsahu sprivatizované a štát ako vlastník výhradných ložísk nerastných surovín vytvára v súlade s platnou legislatívou priestor a podmienky podnikateľským subjektom pri ich využívaní. Zásada slobody podnikania pri dodržaní stanovených pravidiel platí aj v oblasti využívania nerastných surovín. Surovinová politika je politika nakladania so surovinami. Strategický pohľad je nutné vnímať v kontexte významu surovín pre rozvoj štátu. Rozvoj je možné zahrnúť v tomto kontexte do výrazu surovinová bezpečnosť. Mimoriadne dôležitou a nevyhnutnou podmienkou pre rozvoj štátu je dostupnosť surovín. Dostupnosť je vnímaná ako fyzická a ekonomická. Využívanie vlastných surovín je jednak najekonomickejšie, ignorovanie tejto možnosti by bolo popieranie vlastníctva, ktoré v prípade surovín je hodnotené veľmi významne, a to priamo v ústave Slovenskej republiky. Podľa ústavy SR sa surovinové bohatstvo musí chrániť a efektívne využívať. Podľa definície surovinová politika dbá na využívanie domácich zdrojov nerastných surovín, náväznosti na dlhodobé potreby hospodárskeho a sociálneho rozvoja spoločnosti s ohľadom na environmentálne aspekty trvalo udržateľného rozvoja. Počnúť s geologickým výskumom a prieskumom a využívaním overných zásob surovín. Efektivita využitia štátneho majetku je interpretovaná prostredníctvom racionality. Keďže nerastné zdroje sú neobnoviteľné, štát dbá o ich šetrné využívanie s cieľom zabezpečiť ochranu a racionálne využitie nerastného bohatstva a vlastníctva SR spolu s rešpektovaním princípov trvalo udržateľného rozvoja. Podnikanie s nerastnými surovinami je oblasť veľmi špecifická. Nie len pre úzké definovanie vlastníckych vzťahov v Ústave Slovenskej republiky, ale i pre komplexnosť a zároveň rozporuplnosť vo využívaní, kde na jednej strane je jasná vysoká potreba zdrojov, na druhej strane sú značné vplyvy na životné prostredie. Ekonomickými nástrojmi, ako sa najefektívnejšie javí potreba ocenenia ložísk nerastných surovín, je táto metóda. Tá má výhodu hodnotenie ložísk nie všeobecne, ale v pohľade na samotný projekt využitia ložiska konkrétnym podnikateľským subjektom, ktorý určuje stupeň zhodnotenia surovín. Veľmi dôležitým je pritom ukazovateľ, ako je ceny nerastných surovín, tým musia odrážať priame a nepriame náklady na ťažbu a spracovanie, ale aj náklady environmentálne, spojené s následnou elimináciou vplyvu na životné prostredie. Úhrada za dobývacie priestory, úhrada za vydobité nerasty a úhrada za uskladňovanie plynov alebo kvapalín. Odvod na minutie plochy ložiska z poľnohospodárskeho alebo lesného fondu a využitie a podpora štrukturálnych fondov Európskej únie a štátneho rozpočtu. Veľmi dôležitý aspekt územné plánovanie. Ten je nástrojom pre riadenie zabezpečenia potrieb regiónov, kde riadenie procesu využívania regionálnych surovinových zdrojov, najmä stavebných látok, je veľmi dôležité. Hlavnou úlohou regionálnej politiky je stanovenie limitov a časových obmedzení dobývania ložiska v územných plánoch vyšších územných celkov s rešpektovaním únosnosti územia v zmysle hodnotenia vplyvov činnosti na životné prostredie. Zložitosť rôznych metód oceňovania ťažobných spoločností vyplýva z vysokocyklickej povahy baníctva. Pri oceňovaní ťažobných spoločností je možné identifikovať dva cykly. Cyklus spojený s cenou komodity a hospodársky cyklus. Spoločnosti ťažiace a následne predávajúce určitú komoditu sú väčšinou trhových cien. Veľmi veľké ťažobné spoločnosti môžu určovať cenu komodity na trhu obmedzením ťažby. Kvôli značným zmenám v cenách určitých komodít ako produktu ťažobných spoločností sú tieto spoločnosti charakterizované s vysokou volatilitou vo výnosoch a peňažných tokoch počas niekoľkých rokov. Ďalšou špecifickou črtou baníckych spoločností sú vysoké fixné náklady. Ťažobné spoločnosti preto musia udržiavať prevádzku aj v období nízkych cien vyťažených surovín. Dôvodom sú vysoké náklady na zastavenie a znovu otvorenie prevádzky. V najlepšom prípade môžu takéto udalosti prinútiť spoločnosť ukončiť prevádzku a dať firmu do likvidácie pred vyčerpaním jej zásob. Je dôležité spomenúť, že pre ťažobné spoločnosti sú potrebné veľké počiatočné investície, aby mohli spustiť prevádzku. Táto skutočnosť vedie k tomu, že mnohé z týchto spoločností využívajú dlhové financovanie. Z toho dôvodu volatilita prevádzkových výnosov ešte zväčšuje výkyvy v čistom príjme spoločnosti. V prípade, keď ťažobné spoločnosti hľadajú ďalšie možnosti ich expanzie, využívajú na túto expanziu zväčša cudzí kapitál. V dôsledku toho sa dá konštatovať, že ťažobné spoločnosti majú vysokú volatilitu vlastného imania a ukazovateľa zadlženosti. Vážené dámy, vážení páni, dovolil som si doložiť vám taký malý pohľad na problematiku nerastných surovín, analýzu komplexnosti a komplikovanosti. V tomto kontexte je veľmi dôležité povedať, že stále, keď hovoríme o využívaní surovín, hovoríme aj o zlepšovaní, o inováciách, o vede, o výskume. A práve pôda EIT Materials je veľmi dôležitá, pretože to sú dodatočné zdroje k tomu, aby priemyselní partneri mohli fungovať na rozvoji svojich vlastných dát. Ďakujem.
was explaining yesterday that the areas of activity that EIT Materials has are mainly divided into four. The first one is matchmaking and networking, and this is what we are doing here today. We are having an event and meeting with you to first of all present ourselves, and then second hear from you and the local stakeholders. What we are planning for 2018 is an event that, if I recall correctly, will be held in May. Marcus, am I correct? And in the Tatra Mountains, and this will be organized together with Technical University of Kosice, which will be focused on the Slovakian raw materials industry. So that's something that we are planning for 2018. And also, if you can tell us, if you think that there is a specific audience, a specific area of raw materials sector, raw materials industry that is very active in Slovakia or should be addressed, we are happy to do it, and we have resources available to organize such events, and if we know well in advance, we can plan it for a specific year, and so in 2018 we will do that, but also there is probably room for some additional activities. Then if you look at our innovation area, or we call it upscaling mainly, or validation and acceleration, we, as I said yesterday in the Q&A session, we organize these annual calls for projects, and the next call is it's now open. The deadline for submitting proposals is on the last day of February of 2018. So there's still about 3 months to work on the proposals. The way it works, of course, is that the proposals have to be submitted by key raw materials partners. So not everyone can submit proposals, but pretty much everyone can become a partner in a project. The difference is that, of course, if you are not a regular partner of EIT Materials, your funding will be limited to 60,000 euros per year. But what I wanted to really strictly mention here, I gave some examples of the projects yesterday that we are currently doing, is that it is not as complicated or as time-consuming to prepare a project proposal in EIT Materials. It takes our partners the writing itself usually to be between 1 and 2 months. Of course, the preparation is sometimes longer. It takes more preparation to do it. But because our projects are at certain level of development, the technical readiness level, it's not like they are created from scratch. Most of that work has already been done in the basic research, whether it's national funds or EU funds or any other funding that's available for doing the basic research, and they form the input for the projects that we organize. The other important thing I wanted to mention regarding those projects is that, unlike in Horizon 2020, which is also very, very tough, and the success rate there is quite low, in EIT Materials, the success rate for projects is very high, in my view at least, and for the innovation projects, the success rate is between 30 and 40%. So 30 to 40% of all the applications get funded. That's quite a lot. If you look at some other areas like education or regional innovation scheme, that success rate is even higher. It's about 50%. So you could say every second project gets funded, which is really good. And it also means that we are looking for really good quality projects, because not that many get submitted. Typically in a call, we get about 140 to 150 different projects, and between, let's say, 60, 70, 80 of them are being funded. Quite. That's the way it works. So please, keep in mind that the next call is now open, and the deadline for submitting proposals is at the end of February. And we are already talking to our partners from Technical University of Kosice about some specific ideas that they should either lead, and I hope they will, or that they should become partners in. So that's very important. Then in learning and outreach Well, this also, I gave some specific example yesterday. This Dubrovnik International Mining School, which Technical University of Kosice is part of. But we are happy to organize other types of programs. I was also talking to our colleagues from Kosice yesterday, and I gave another example where in Italy we have a project that we call Wider Society Learning. It's called Raw Materials at Schools. And the way it works is that one of the research institutes from Italy has got funding from us to teach primary and secondary school students about the importance of raw materials, but they do it in a very specific way. They learn, for example, how to how to recycle electronic scrap. They learn what kind of metals are contained in a smartphone and what you can do with them, what they are used for, where they come from. So it's very practical knowledge that is much more appealing to the kids. We actually last year, about a year ago, we had this big event in Brussels called the Raw Materials Week, where we organized part of this event, and we invited those kids from high school from Bologna, from Italy, on stage. There were about 15 or 20 of them, and they came on stage and they talked about their project, and they talked to people from European Parliament or European Commission, which was really exciting. And we could do exactly the same thing for people in Slovakia. It's no big deal because everybody's equal, and there was this presentation with the picture that the equality and equity is not the same, but in this case, we really think about our partners in a very same way. Don't think that the funds should be more allocated to the Western partners. In fact, and this goes back to this regional innovation scheme, we have ways of making it more accessible to the less developed countries, and you should definitely think about taking advantage of that because that's the big opportunity. And then the last area, which is business creation and support. And again, I will mention this presentation that Mr. Beslar was showing. We also see that problem that we are having this open call for startups, SMEs, idea holders, entrepreneurs, and we know it's so easy. You just have to fill out a 5-page document, apply to us, we take a call with you, and based on that call, we can grant you with 60,000 euros, which is, of course, I'm simplifying that a little bit, but it's actually that process is really fairly easy. And the problem that we see is that over the last 2 years, most of the applicants that have been coming to us, to our CLC, have been coming from Germany and from Austria, because there is just more people who have that natural, natural way of thinking about their business, but also knowing that they can apply for funding and so forth. And we would really like to have many more people coming from other countries, and we will also think together with Technical University of Kosice how to maybe organize this. One thing that we have organized this year, and Marcus can explain that in more detail, is something we call business plan competition. The way it worked is that we organized at 3 different universities in 3 different places in Europe a competition for students or PhD students for business idea. They came to us, they had to submit their business idea in a specific area. There were 3 different areas that about either raw materials or some other aspect, because it was all organized with other kids. At first, they submitted this business idea, they came, they presented that, and then the finalists came to the final in Budapest, which was not very long ago, just a few weeks ago. And the first 3 in each area were awarded with money prizes. But it's not just the money that they get, it's also the publicity, because there is a lot of hype about business plan competition like that. this on an annual basis. And we invite some of these startups, or we invite them to other conferences or trade shows that are being organized in the raw materials industry. And these startups are able to talk to our partners, and they get involved into innovation projects. And this is probably the biggest value add that we see, because we are able to connect these smaller, up and coming entrepreneurs with those bigger companies, and they suddenly start working together on an idea. And it's not just about the funding, but also the networking and creating the network of contacts for all these new companies. So that's also something that we would like to see more of coming from countries like Slovakia or the neighboring countries. And we will, work with Technical University of Kosice how to approach this in Slovakia specific. Maybe we will organize some business idea competition like this next year. We don't know yet, but we are really wanting to hear from you what are the best ways to do it, because we don't know. I mean, we don't spend our time on a daily basis here. We just come here as guests, and we have limited perception. So you have to tell us, and this is why we would like you to speak up and tell us, okay, if it comes to the matchmaking and networking, what can we do? If it comes to innovation projects, I heard yesterday in one of the presentations that one of the smart specialization strategies here is related to iron ore and steel. Well, that's something that is very relevant for us. We can do something together, but the question is, what are the needs of the local iron ore and steel industry? I don't know that, but I would like to know, and I would like to then tell you, okay, maybe this is something that we could do together. So please keep that in mind. And again, I would like to open the floor for discussion and have you tell us, first of all, what kind of things can we do together, and what kind of challenges are you facing, so we can go away from this meeting with some tangible outcomes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Perhaps I can just a minute elaborate on this business idea competition a little more. Related to the region innovation scheme, what we talked about yesterday. So the objective of this is to create impact for these countries. In this case, we are talking about Slovakia. And one problem of the less innovativeness I was talking about yesterday, in order to try to explain what is meant by this. One of these reasons definitely is not that you people in Slovakia and all the other countries are less innovative than in the Western countries. From my perception, it's even the other way around. The problem is that innovation doesn't happen here. If you have students with good ideas, they go to the West. So the innovation happens in Western countries, which is a contribution to their innovativeness and deducts your rate of innovativeness in a way. So what we have to think about is, what can we do and create in order to fight this brain drain, that the people stay here and that the innovation happens here. And this is what the EIT is talking about when they say, okay, go out there and create this knowledge triangle, meaning building these networks in the ecosystem. And this is what we want to contribute to. And the hub, the upcoming hub, will be, let's say, a step into this, giving advice, giving contacts to the KIC, giving contacts to our partner networks out there in other countries, in order to make students or idea holders in general being aware, I can do it in Kosice, in Slovakia, wherever I get help here. I don't need to go somewhere else. And this is what we intend to do. Krishna was just telling about, so in the beginning of 2018, I think right at the 1st of January, we raised the next call for business idea competition, which means everybody's just invited. In the last competition, we had students, we had non-students, we had even professors, whatever, coming up with an idea. We just checked if this idea is related to us, and if so, you are invited to participate. And again, just to elaborate a little bit, we invite them for a boot camp. In this boot camp, you get training, intensive training, how to write a business plan, how to make a business out of your idea. And then the next step is we have a business plan competition. So the participants send us a business plan based on the exercise they learned in the boot camp. And then we have this next step that we say, or we have these pitches, and the best one get awarded.
But beside being awarded or getting awarded, we follow up with those ones where we think this really makes sense and this will be a contribution to raw materials objectives overall. Which means beside the prize money, we give them advice, we join them, we discuss with them, we give them further trainings, whatever is needed, and also money if they need it. And if they need more money than we can give, we have contacts with professional investor companies, so we can give them the chance to pitch there for money. And this is all intended that they stay here and the innovation happens here. This is one thing. The other thing what we do together with our partners in Leoben, in Austria, and in Freiberg, in Germany next year, it's a try. We want to invite those students coming from, in this case, Slovakia, give them an intensive training and tell them, look, this is how you make a business out of it, and we give you also advice how it works if you go home and create a startup in Slovakia, in order to make them come back. So this is the intention, and if you have any knowledge about anybody in the university who has an idea, just advise them to the upcoming call, and we will try to give them support. So this is about the business creation and support. Additional to the question from Christoph, what can we do in order to create impact in Slovakia? Tell us, what do you think what we can do? This is one question. The other question, what we might answer in this hour we have now, do you have any idea what we shall talk about? And then we can discuss jointly, can we make a project out of it? Can we help concrete one? I'll give you one example, which was coming to my mind this morning, because we had this business idea competition I was just talking about. And we had the business plan competition just 3 weeks ago in Budapest. And one of the winners was a guy from Ukraine. He has studied mining, don't ask me where, somewhere in Germany, I think. And he has an idea about logistics in open pit mining. And he wants to make a startup out of it. And I said, there's no way. I would like to help you, but there's no way that you make a startup out of it, because you need so much money for this, you cannot do it. And if you somehow publish your idea, it's gone, because everybody can take it. So what was coming to my mind when I was reading all these posters in the back was the Institute of Logistics. So which means I try to talk to you at the University of Kosice. Look, get into contact with this guy. Perhaps this is a project what you can raise at the university. Make an upscaling project out of it. Involve this guy. So we already have a project where you can apply for money, upscaling project. So this is a possibility. Another possibility that you should come out of this audience. I know Mr. Guternik has some ideas. So if you are willing to raise it here, let's discuss how we can make a project out of it. And again, just to add here, if you have ideas, and Christoph was elaborating on this, we need to have a partner of our KIC in order to take the lead of this project. But it does not necessarily mean that it always has to be Technical University of Kosice. So if it's a project with an expertise, or which needs an expertise which is not yours, we can contact, or they can connect you with respective partners. It can be a partner in Sweden, in Germany, wherever. So this is not limited to Slovakia only. So again, I would really be happy if somebody would raise an idea, we can discuss jointly how it works.
No, I don't want to talk about ideas at first. But first is I want to confirm what you said. I'm in Slovakia since 2010. And also what I recognized that all good people who speak English, who have learned a lot of the university, are going to Western countries. Especially in mining industry, if they go to tunneling in Austria or Germany in coal mines, they earn 3-4 times more money than in Slovakia. And this is, I think, the biggest problem. And with owner of our former company, which was a partner for me since 2010, I asked him once why he employs just people in Slovakia, in the eastern part of Slovakia, who speak no English. He asked me, it's quite simple, because if people speak English and they have a better knowledge, then I will lose them after 1 year. And I cannot pay them 3 times more then what is the average here? And this is really a big, big problem. In the whole area of Kosice, I think so.
Well, I'm pretty sure that it is like this. I know from living in Hungary that it's similar there, especially in Imres here, in these areas of eastern Hungary, it's the same situation. However, I mean, we are limited in our possibilities to fight this brain drain in terms of workers. What we can do, and this is what the whole EIT is about, is we can foster innovation, which means if there are people out there who have innovative ideas about create their own business, these are the ones where we think, and if you do it yourself, I mean, it's the same risk if you do it in the West or you do it here. It's just a matter, actually, is do you get help to start this business and this innovation? So this is where we can try to contribute to.
Thank you. Just reply or endorse to you. Well, I'm not entirely sure that that's the right that people who can speak English just wrote. Not all of them. I think that young people have also other motivation, not just money. And this is up to us, and I think this is also up to EIT in Slovakia to build something new for these people, new motivations. So if I have, let's say, average money, but very good work, which I'm fond of, so then I stay here. And I think that many young people are thinking like I am. So let's find interesting work which is decently paid, and maybe the drain of brains, young brains, will not that big like it is now. This is also a challenge for universities and industry partners and authorities and EIT to build such a background for these young people.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the special challenge for universities to make or to contribute somehow that the students, if they get or have good ideas, to support them in order to make them stay and to follow up with the project. So I think the experience we have at the EIT, where if a university creates good projects, interesting projects, you can keep the people here, at least for the time of the project. Perhaps we can make them become innovators. Instead, perhaps we can see innovative mindset in order that they do something. And also Krishna was talking about what we can also do. We have this SME booster. So if we have an SME out here, and this SME has an idea to make a booster step, and a booster step means to develop something from one step to another one, which we can contribute to with this limited 60,000 euros. I mean, perhaps for some companies, 60,000 euros to develop something, it's already enough, and we can make the difference by this. This could also mean, just talking about, we had a company funded last year. This was, they had some idea about malware functionality or malware prediction, and they said, okay, we could use this and transfer it into mining industry. And this is especially interesting for autonomous mining. You have to know when this machine will break down somewhere remotely or whatever. And we said, okay, it's a good idea. We think this is reasonable. We supported them in order to adapt their technology to mining industry. And in the meanwhile, they succeeded. They have 3 big customers, 3 big ones already. And I think this is something where we can help Slovakian SMEs as well. Do you have ideas where you can contribute to the mining industry or processing or whatever is related to raw materials? We may help you.
Thank you. I would like to respond to Professor Janočko. As he said, he comes from faculty in BER, I come from Slovak University of Technology, and I really appreciate that such opportunities and challenges, because motivation of young people is different these days. And if we are able to attract them, we can attract them to stay and to collaborate. And also one of the opportunities could be collaboration within European Institute of Technology. If connect university, for example, Faculty of BER or Faculty of Material Science and Technology, and as you mentioned, for example, Institute of Logistics, as example, via student you have introduced, it can be the start of best practices for collaboration, and we can attract more universities, more enterprises to join us. And this can be really supporting and challenging for our students to find a chance to stay here and to innovate, maybe via competitions within business plans via PhD competitions or otherwise? Thank you.
Yes, to respond to this, I totally agree. And I think if we create good projects, you learned about yesterday that these projects, what we do is not national ones. So we have these European-wide ones. We have partners from Europe, from all over Europe. And if you create projects for 3 years that the students can participate in, and they can go sometime, they can go to Sweden or wherever, or participate in a project at Sandvik. So this is attractive, and they're still here. They come back. And we learned yesterday evening, we had a discussion at the table. We were talking with Peter, this guy from EIT, from T-Systems. He was living in Prague, and he came home. He said, I want to live here. So I'm pretty sure that people like to be here. We just have to offer them opportunities. And this is what we try to contribute to.
I would like to add, I would also like to show my appreciation for creating opportunities. And also we talk about young people, but there are not many young people sitting here as you found there. Those are our PhD students, among other, and I think we should involve more young people in discussions like this, so that it's not we that talk about what they feel and how they, what are their opinions on it, but they can also contribute to the discussion. And I think it's really important to show, to value young people, to show them that they are valued, that there is possibility. And those people, for instance, sitting there, they are always asking me about the possibilities to contribute to projects and so on. So it's big willingness from young people to be a part of something, something bigger like EIT or projects like that. But we should involve them and show them that they are valued and they are appreciated, and they will be, and their career is waiting for them. And those are big motivators in my opinion as well.
I think so, and I think this is already a very clear request for event or activity we can do, or which this hub can do. So, Tamas, I hope you noted it. So this could be something. What we can do, what we can contribute. We come here, we make an event at the university, invite students, and we tell them about the possibilities. We try to discuss with them what is needed and what can we do. So I think this is what you have in mind, and I think this is already something we should know down. We need feedback in order to know what can we do, what is expected of us within the framework we can do. So we still wait for ideas, for projects, because as Christoph mentioned, the call is open, and it takes time to prepare a proposal. So now we are already heading for Christmas time. It's time to come up.
One thing we did not mention very explicitly yesterday, in all our innovation projects, we put strong emphasis on education. This wasn't very clear yesterday. When we have our partners submit ideas for innovation, we also challenge them and tell them, how will you tie this project to education? And the best projects that we see so far that are being already done by some of our partners is where they involve PhD students into doing some component of the project. And sometimes they make them do a thesis on this or doing some specific project. But just imagine, yesterday I was showing this project from Helmholtz Institute for hyperspectral imaging and laser-induced fluorescence. They were looking for 2 PhD students to work in this project, and it took them quite a long time to employ somebody, but they were looking globally, and they had applications from India, they had applications from other Asian countries, they had applications from South America. So there was great interest because people want to work in such innovative projects, and I think keep that in mind, because this is not just the opportunity for the partners, but also for some people who can specifically get involved into some really innovative thing. And then you can, it doesn't really matter where that project is being contacted, because that's like work for 2-3 years. You can still get a lot of gain a lot of knowledge by participating in this kind of project. Then take that knowledge back to your country and then share that knowledge with others, and that spreads the know-how and contributes to the greater good. So that's really important too.
So what we normally do, and Christoph was referring to it also, we have this kind of brokerage events, and the brokerage event is an interesting exercise, especially this then everybody's just showing up and has, I think it's altogether only 5 minutes, 3 minutes presentation, 2 minutes for question and answer. And they say, this is one slide, this is my idea, what I have. This is what we want to achieve, and these are the ones we need in this project. And then people sitting there, they raise their hand and say, yeah, put me on the list, let's discuss about it. And so it starts. The ideas start at the very end. I mean, it's the beginning, it's a funnel. Not all of these ideas which have been presented at the blueprint at the end will come to a proposal, but this is how it starts. And this is something we would like to ask you to do here as well, to exercise. Come together here with the partners from the technical university, raise your ideas and think about, is there an option for a project or for an application for whatever activity within EIT raw materials. And as I said before, if it's not the technical university to take this project as a lead, they can advise you to another partner who might be better for this or has more experience or whatever. So again, if you have the chance to raise a proper topic here, an idea, let's discuss about it.
We already discussed some projects with the university, with Professor Zeckler and Jean-Franco, and I'm sure that we have at least one project that we can submit probably by end of February together with the university. But we have to prepare it in detail, and it's related to backfilling. You know, backfilling in mines, you have different problems regarding the gap at the top and so on. And we have just some ideas, and also how we can improve the system of backfilling. But this is a project for sure, not for 1 year. It's a project over years, because if you go underneath, then you have to check the quality and so on. But it would be, I think, a good possibility together with the university also to build, I would say, a competence center, something like that. Also to have a knowledge transfer between the students and our company, and I think this could be a good possibility. Also to get some money. But in general, we had just one general comment from my side. My opinion is in general, a fund is good if we can get it, but to work economically, it should not be necessary. A project must be also economic without the fund. This is my personal opinion.
Yes. Okay, so let me just address it. It's great to come to a mining school, because at least I understand what you're talking about. But this is also a very good example. Backfilling is an issue that the mining companies face globally. This is not a issue for Slovakia. This is an issue for all mining companies globally. And in fact, when I was working for a mining company, we were also looking at the ways of backfilling, like what can we do? The problem was sometimes that the company is too big. They just say, well, we don't have time to work on this. Like we need to work on the operations. That's more important. But there was another mining operation in Poland. It was the lead and zinc mine, and they were running out of ore. They were really, at the end of their mine life, and they were struggling because the metal prices were quite low. Then the metal prices were increasing, which allowed them to survive a few more years. But one of the ways to survive was also for them to address the issue of backfilling, and they were actually doing a project on backfilling of the empty mine phases, and they got national funding from national funding in Poland. And one of our partners in EIT Materials was doing this project with them, and this is the great thing about this network, because you can really connect with the people who know this subject inside out. They can partner up with you, and you can do a project together, and they can bring their knowledge into the project, because this is also required in our projects. You need to bring in the knowledge. You can submit an application together, and you can get this funding for. And the other thing I wanted to mention, we don't do projects. The innovation projects are not running for 1 year. Most of our projects are running for 3 years, because that's kind of the average time we need to get to that from that level of TRL 5 to TRL 7. This is the ideal project was, and that's the way it works. So I would also encourage you to, if you have an idea, just bring it to the partner, and then we will help them connect with other partners who are the subject matter experts in this field, and we will make it work. So this is a great idea to be further explored and considered as a proposal.
Need your feedback. That's why we're here. Need your questions to answer. Best would be that you're not going home and have in mind, okay, there's EIT. No, we want to follow up with something. And the floor is open now, as Christoph said, by end of February or 1st of March is the deadline for the actual call. And I think, as far as I understand, the University of Kosice will be happy to raise some proposals for this call or within this call.
Well, now in Slovak, because you concern our Slovak guests here. Veľmi sa mi páči, ako naši hostitelia z EIT nám chcú doslova pomôcť. Veľmi to oceňujem. Avšak žiadna pomoc nemôže byť úspešná bez našej vlastnej. Ja som včera hovoril v diskusii na prednášku pána Pezora, ktorý už nie, keď rozprával o tom, že menej projektov ako Slovensko už je len môže z Balty pre Horizont alebo pre ostatné projektové schémy. Čiže ako je úplne jasné, že my musíme sa zmobilizovať a musíme podávať viacero projektov. Ak je takáto úspešnosť projektov, ako hovoril pán Krzysztof Kubácky, okolo 40-50% projektov EIT, tak to je ľahko vypočítateľné, že ak podáme sa projektov, aspoň 2 dostaneme, tak pracujeme na tých projektoch. A preto projekt, ako som včera hovoril, je veľmi dôležitá diskusia a clustering, takže je to, čo páni tuto zdôrazňujú. Čiže ja si myslím, že ak ideme založiť jedno centrum pre nerastné suroviny v Košiciach, hub centrum, jedna z naozaj dôležitých úloh tohto hub centra je diseminovať všetky naše znalosti, kto by mohol danom projekte pomôcť. A na druhej strane každý stakeholder z regiónu Slovenska musí vedieť, že sa musí vedieť spýtať, čo vlastne chce. A to vlastne vyžaduje vlastnú iniciatívu a vlastnú aktivitu. Takže ja len mám takú poznámku, skúsme byť iniciatívni a skúsme byť aktívni a verím, že ak budeme iniciatívni a aktívni, začneme písať projekty, budeme mať úspešnosť.
Yeah, I think this is a key message actually, Jolai. We can help, but you have to raise the question for help. So we cannot force anyway. So it's up to you. And I think no idea is wrong and no idea is ridiculous or whatever. Raise it. We are here to help. And I tried to explain yesterday all the kicks, not only for Romanians, we have business developers. Business developers means we are here to help you, or if you have an idea, we are here to help you to make a project out of an idea, if even possible. So any idea is welcome and get further support, because as I explained yesterday again, we are not considering ourselves as a funding organization saying yes, no, but if you say this is a good idea, we would really like to make this a success, we give you any support in order to make it a success. So, I think so. Perhaps we can do it like this, that we make the coffee break now. Think about what you have in mind, we come back by 11. Please come up with some ideas and let's discuss it. Just as an example to tell you, okay, how can we make something out of it? And you only will learn, we can tell you a lot and we can show you many presentations, but
but we have to discuss it in order that you understand the process. If you agree, then we go for coffee. I know, otherwise we drink water. Okay, thank you.
I do that every day. Yes, maybe.